Alright, so in honor of this movie I just saw right now, I decided to do this review in my car. This movie is a one-man show. It is just Tom Hardy, and that's it. The film is called Locke. Now, yes, Tom Hardy's the only person we see on screen, but there's people that he's talking to through his car phone, and there's some other actors and actresses in the film, but Tom Hardy is the only one on screen. This is a film, it's a one-man show. The camera is either inside his car or outside his car as he's traveling on to meet this woman who is now giving birth to his new child. Now, this woman is not his wife. So while he's driving, he's making a series of phone calls because he is a foreman who helps build buildings. He's in charge of all of that, and he's got this new big building that he's working on. At the same time he's gonna try and tell the truth to his family, and also he's on his way to meet his new child and deal with the woman because he's not in love with the woman. It was a one-night stand, but he just wants to do the responsible thing because in his past, his father never did the responsible thing. So he's making phone calls throughout the entire time. At the same time, he's always looking behind him in his back seat, and he's talking to himself, and he's kind of talking to his dead father and pretty much trying to tell him that he's doing a better job than he did. So this movie is just an 84-minute film of him driving around in his car on his way to London, England to meet his newborn baby. I love Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is one of the best actors working today. I remember seeing, I think I saw him for the first time in Inception, and then when Drive came out, I went to go see the other films of Nicholas Winding Refn, and I saw Bronson for the first time, which I believe was probably his first big film. Of course, he was Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. He's been in other films like Warrior and many other films since then, and he's just become one of the coolest actors working in Hollywood today, and one of my favorite actors as well. So I was really interested to see this movie. The movie is directed and written by a guy named Stephen Knight, who I believe has been nominated before for an Academy Award for Best Screenplay. And he's worked on some other things. He's directed some other films, but I'm not really familiar with him. I think he worked on another film called Eastern Promises, and another one called Dirty Little Secrets or Dirty Little Lies or something like that. I could be getting wrong. I apologize for that. But Tom Hardy was the reason I wanted to see this, and I really like the trailer. And I like these one-man kind of films. You know, it really worked well with All Is Lost with Robert Redford, Buried with Ryan Reynolds, kind of Phone Booth with Colin Farrell, and there's some other films that come to mind. Oh yeah, Tom Hanks and Castaway. So there's other films that are like this. But this film is mainly Tom Hardy for 84 minutes as he's making these phone calls and he's getting these reactions from his family, from his coworkers, and from the woman that he's not in love with, but he wants to be a good father. He wants to be a good father. So, how did I feel about this movie? Well, this movie will test your patience. It's not very long, but it'll definitely test your patience. But the great acting style of Tom Hardy and the great way that this film is directed, it just kept me interested throughout the entire experience. I love the way he managed himself by figuring out what he was going to do while he's driving, at the same time making all these phone calls, and then talking to himself and talking to his dead father, and this just got really compelling as these things started to unfold. And it was just completely interesting from beginning to end, and I felt myself so glued to the screen and just captivated by what was happening. I was just utterly interested in where this was actually going and how he was going to deal with all these situations, because it seemed like we were probably never going to meet anybody else in this film. We only got to know them through the car phone. We were only get to really meet Tom Hardy, and I think he did a really good job on his own, being by himself and dealing with these phone calls and dealing with the surroundings that are around him, that it just really was very, very cool. At the same time, is directed and written very well, so it never felt like I was bored. Or like, oh, we need to find another location. Can he just step out of the car and get some gas and then talk to the gas attendant? No, that was okay. He was just driving, and luckily he is making phone calls, so it's not like All Is Lost. I think in All Is Lost, Robert Redford just said a few words and never really communicated with anybody. Luckily with this movie, Tom Hardy actually does get to communicate with some people, and it's really interesting as he's just trying to figure out what's going on and just get to his destination safely. At the same time, he's just dealing with so much. This was just really interesting. I'm glad it was 84 minutes. I don't know if it would have felt a little longer, if they would have went for the 2-hour mark, it might have just really, started to weigh on my patience. But it was short, it was brief, It got in, it did its job, it got out, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I highly recommend it if you can find it in your area. I do recommend Locke. It is definitely worth seeing. You'll probably find it on Netflix or on one kind of online streaming of some kind. It's definitely worth seeing, especially if you're a fan of Tom Hardy. He is a great actor, and he proves right here why he's one of our best young actors working today. I'm looking forward to seeing what he has next. And for this film, Locke, I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 stars out of 4. I'm MovieManCHAD. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook. And please go to WeLiveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. Also go to Long Beach Acting and Film Association right here on Facebook and Twitter. Please also go to MoviePod.com. And if you've enjoyed this video review, please click right over here next to the steering wheel and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, great weekend, great evening, great day. Just have a great life, and I look forward to seeing you at my next video review. Peace be with you, my friends. Peace on earth. Can you see that? Can you see that? Ooh, right through there. Yeah.